Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today, I wanted to experiment with glazing oil painting. So, in front of me I have a 5x7 painting that I did a few days ago. It is on ampersand gesso board, and it was made using a mixture of Williamsburg's paints. It was sap green and Pompeii red, which I don't have out. I mixed those two together and just did this textural tonalist type painting, or you could look at it as an underpainting. So now I'm going to experiment, now that it's dry, with taking Galkyd, mixing a pigment into it, maybe ultramarine. I think that's the way I'm going to go. And kind of do maybe an overall pass, a heavy mixture of it, and wipe back and start looking at the scene that's taking place. So this is one technique I've seen with glazing. I'm no expert at glazing or anything like that, so there's probably other resources that are way better than me on this, but this has been some of the different approaches I've been playing with and experimenting with. So without further ado, I'm going to grab that ultramarine. I'm going to pass that over in a mixture with the Galkyd. The Galkyd dries kind of like a hard enamel. I think it's a resin with the Gamsol in it, which is the odorless mineral spirits. So it dries pretty quick, and it dries to kind of I guess you'd say kind of a sheen with it. Probably could use a way bigger brush for this, but I'm just throwing it on. And this is kind of one of many glazing techniques. I had seen this, I'd say easily a year ago, I guess, and I'm not sure. On YouTube, there was a gentleman that had a video where he had a big painting, a forest scene, and he covered his whole painting. And I'm not sure if he used a liquid or what as his medium. And I think he had used ultramarine and applied it and then wiped back. And essentially, we're just going to play around and experiment. That's literally the point of this. When I was in college, I took oil painting classes, and I had a fantastic professor. Chris Semerjeff was his name. And we didn't learn about glazing or anything like that. We didn't really use mediums. We kind of just worked on laying paint next to each other and just looking at different scenes and whatnot. But and it was still life and portraiture and the nude painting, things like that. But he had a very effective teaching technique where he would come up, and let's say this was a painting that I was working on. I was really proud of it at this point. He would come up with the palette knife and start scraping into it and be like, we need to adjust this and look at that. And you'd be like, oh my God, what are you doing? But I think, and what he was essentially trying to do is like, kind of don't baby your painting, especially when you're learning. Take the risks, take the chances. Don't try to do a perfect finished painting. Experiment and see what happens. So that's what you really need to do. So I'm going to move this around. First, I'm just going to kind of soften the whole thing, and we'll see what happens with it. You could see how it adhered the ultramarine to areas that weren't, that had a lot more gesso board, that were whiter, available to it. And we changed the overall feel of the painting itself. We could add textural brush strokes or paper towel strokes with this. And there we go. So that's the first of kind of just the experimental glazing. Hopefully you could see the change that had taken place. We can be more aggressive with our wiping back if we wanted. And we can get back to the original painting that was there. So let's do a little bit of that in some areas. We'll find a few spots inside these guys. The trees. We can use a Q-tip to go in and wipe out our medium mix with ultramarine to lighten up some spots. And if we're not happy with it, we could put back the Galkyd with that ultramarine and soften it back up. So now at this point, I'm going to experiment with getting back to the original painting as much as possible in some areas, just to get that lighting effect that's taking place. And you pull a little bit, get that top of the water effect. Now with glazing, there's different medium, and I am straight up going to tell you I don't know what the best medium is for it, and I don't know what the most successful medium is, what ratio to use, etc. There are so many, I'd say forum posts, but it's more like arguments online about what you can do. I'm going to wipe back over here and see what that looks like. So I can see, and I could create that glow through here. There's so many arguments and forum posts about what's the best, what's the worst. People getting really detailed about what percent they're mixing and whatnot. I genuinely have no idea. It's good to contact the company and ask them what they have. Two companies that I found have been really fantastic have been Gamblin. I'm using the Gamsol from them, and the other one, Williamsburg. Those are the two companies that I've kind of contacted and talked to about it, about paints, pigments, etc. But there's other reputable companies out there, and talk to them, ask them questions, and see what they recommend, see what they think. Let's try putting a little bit of white, zinc white, just as an experiment. So this would be kind of scumbling, I think is what it's called when we put paint on at this point. If we add pure, I don't know if I'm going to like it there or not. I might wipe it out. Yeah. That's for another one. And we could paint on top and play around with the positions. Some people swear by liquid, so that might be something you choose to use, especially because it dries so quick. I have not used liquid, but I do hear that there's a particular smell to it potentially, so that might be something you want to look into if you choose to go down that path. But, I mean, your best bet, talk to the companies. Alright, so we'll stop this video here. I'm going to see if I can put the before image and the after image next to each other for this painting at the end of this video, just so you can kind of compare the two. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.